What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning into my channel, Jace's Own World. I really appreciate that. I have a video of this MK7 GTI that I own. In this video, I'm going to showcase, the MK7 GTI because that's what I own. I got this car before COVID happened. COVID happened, what, 3 years ago? Things have drastically changed with COVID, as we all know. Prices for used and new cars, just those two specific things have gone crazy. We know that. They're starting to drop a little bit right now, but not as much. Like, we're not going to see MK7 prices. We're not going to see MK7 prices on MK8s. It's just not going to happen. So I want to showcase like the MK7 and basically like the quality that you got in the MK7, because it is such a nice car for the price. My MK7, if any of you don't know, it is a base model MK7 GTI, 2017 VW GTI S. That is the base model of that generation. I still think that's the base model. Basically, it doesn't come with like a limited slip differential. It doesn't come with some like lighting. It comes with halogen lights and stuff. It has the wimpiest brakes, even though they're still pretty decent for the street. But like, there's just some things that were not in the S model. But I got this car brand spanking new in 2017 for 23 and change, like 23,500, something like that. That was the MSRP price. So that's not including taxes and registration, APR rate, yada yada yada. But I just want to showcase the features that you got in a base model Volkswagen GTI. Mine is a manual, by the way, so it's a little cheaper than the DSG. So if I got a DSG, it probably would have been like $1,000 or $1,500 more. So let's say $25,000, okay, for a base model DSG. But I got the 6-speed manual, so it was a little cheaper. But let's just check out this car, because I think one thing that we are just losing as buyers in the market today is price per performance and what you get for the price of a vehicle nowadays. $23,500, okay? That's really cheap. You can't even get like a Versa that cheap nowadays, guys. So let's check it out. Let's see what a base model MK7 GTI got you. Because even the MK7.5 GTIs, they weren't no $23,500 for a base model. They were more like $26,000 for the base model manual, okay? So it even went up then, and you didn't really get that much more. So let's check out the MK7 GTI and what it offered, okay? All right, going right into it. It comes with 18-inch wheels standard. On the exterior, it comes with red painted calipers standard. They're really good brakes. $23,500 for this car, okay? Really good brakes. It comes with side skirts, stock. Mine are off. I decided to take those off. I don't know why, I just wanted to be different. But they do come with side skirts stock. They come with dual exhaust on the exterior. Like I said, there's not much to the exterior of a base model GTI. It has, just a dual exhaust, but that's pretty much it on the exterior. Oh, wait. One more thing. Base model GTI. That's a heated side mirror. They come with heated side mirrors from the factory. Pretty sure a base model, nothing for $23,500 for basically any car came with heated side mirrors. Didn't happen, okay? Let's go on into the interior. All right, let's just check it out. Oh, here you go. Something new that I've done to my car that you guys haven't seen is I put an Alcantara steering wheel wrap on there with the red stripe. I got light gray stitching. It's really nice, and it cost me 18 bucks on AliExpress. It shipped within 3 weeks. And yeah, the thing is really awesome. I stitched it myself, pretty easy job. and just took me a few hours, and you know, way better feel. It ain't cost me 6, 7, 800 plus for that steering wheel. It cost me 18 bucks and a little bit of my own time. I highly recommend them. All right, so we can come here. This is all pretty standard stuff, except for this is the heated steering wheel knob there, but the other stuff is pretty standard, okay? Let's get in here a little closer. When you turn the car on, this little red stripe right here that you can see lights up on both sides, front, driver, and passenger, okay? You don't get none of that in a Focus ST or pretty much any other hot hatch that I know of. That's 23,500 bucks, okay? I think you guys are getting the point here. The VW GTI Mark 7 in general was a dang good bargain for what you got, all right? Let's come back to the interior here. Now, the manual, I'm very disappointed in from the factory. It's pretty junky. I had to put some money into, you know, the shift knob, the clutch, the shifter cables, the shifter system, just the bleeder block. I had to put a lot of money into it to make it feel real nice. So that's kind of crap from the factory, but pretty much every car is kind of crap for the factory at $23,500. Let's go ahead and look at this steering wheel, okay? Even without this wrap, it's leather, okay? It has red stitching. The shape of the steering wheel is pretty dang amazing. I think the thickness of the steering wheel stock without this wrap is a little slim for my liking. Others might like it, but it's a little slim for my liking. So I think that's one thing that they could have done better. But I got to remind myself that the Volkswagen GTI is still an economy car. So it's an economy car first, and then it's sporty second. So, you know, I just, you know, I love the steering wheel. I wish it was a little thicker, but other than that, look at these buttons, you know. Let's turn the car on a little bit so I can show you my mileage here. We got, you know, radar and all this stuff. But let's go ahead and turn this off. Okay, off. I have 142,583 miles on my car, okay? It's a Volkswagen, and it's been pretty dang reliable. It still runs perfectly smooth and holds perfect compression, and it's been tuned its entire life. But let's go back to this steering wheel. The buttons for 142,000 miles are still in like perfect condition. Perfect condition. And the placement of these buttons are amazing. I especially love the cruise control. For those of you who don't know, this might be an Easter egg for some of you who own this car. The cool thing about this cruise control, this is not adaptive cruise control. This is just standard cruise control. But the cool thing is, when you set you have to turn this, you know, when you turn it on and you set the cruise control, the plus and the minus right here adds 5 miles per hour, or it goes to the nearest 5 or 0. So let's say you're cruising at like 46 miles per hour and you want to go multiple speeds faster, but you don't want to press this multiple times to get to 50. You know, you would have to press this 4 times to get to 50 on any standard, you know, cruise control. All you do is press this once, the plus once, and it goes to 60 miles per hour. If you want to go down, it will go, you know, down to 45 because it goes in 5 mile per hour increments, okay? So it goes 45, and then the next one would be 40. So that's a really cool Easter egg. Really, really awesome. I love that part about this cruise control because you don't have to press as many buttons. It's amazing. So I love that. I love the placement. I love, like, everything is just fit. Like when I'm driving aggressively, I drive like this. That's a perfect fit. It's perfect for my hands, okay? The only thing that has really gone bad on this interior is basically this right here. This is kind of peeled peeled up, so I super glued it down because that little, you know, I don't know, it's part of the trim, but it's like a little cover of the trim. And so in order to get that replaced, you have to replace this whole thing, which I'm not going to do. So I just super glued it down. It's starting to come up again. I have to do it again, but it's no big deal. But other than that, nothing in the interior rattles. I have 0 rattles in this interior. The build quality is amazing, guys, for a $23,500 car back in 2017. The build quality is amazing. The steering wheel is amazing. The gauges are pretty awesome. These red needles light up when the car is on, when the car's headlights are on. And that's really neat. And when the car starts, both of these needles, this one and this one, they both go whoop, whoop to show you that the car is starting. I don't know what it's for, but it's a pretty neat feature, and it makes it feel more sporty, I guess, you know. All of this information is really nice. Having that in the center is really nice because these gauges, they're nice gauges from the factory, which, you know, you could just tell with the aluminum bezel around it, and then this kind of weird, this is kind of cheap right here, but it has like a carbon fiber-ish look to it. It's just plastic though, but everything is laid out proportionally and really good. Let's go to the vents. The vents. Every car has vents, right? But do they sound like this? You hear that click? Click. Click. So when it's fully open, it clicks, and when it's fully closed, it clicks. Every single vent has that, even in the back here. Has that little click. You're not getting those little tiny details in cheaper cars like the Focus ST. When you get inside a Focus ST, it's a cool car. Don't get me wrong. I like the car. Several of my friends have it, but the interior quality of this car is extremely nicer. And when I was cross-shopping the Focus ST and the GTI back in 2017, this was going for $23,500, and a base model Focus ST was going for $28,000. I was literally sold on this car the moment I sat inside it. I went and test drove the Focus ST before I came and looked at this car, and I liked it, but I thought it had a little bit of torque steer. It didn't feel as fast as the specs showed, I guess. And the interior was really small and tiny, and it felt kind of crappy. It felt like Ford, okay? And then I went to the dealership across the street and saw this, and I got inside it, and it was a night and day difference. Night and day. You're just getting a lot of stuff. You know, let's turn the car on. Let's see if those gauges go on. There you go. See them? Pretty cool, right? Put it in neutral. You don't get a backup camera in the Focus ST or any other cars in its class for $23,500. But you do standard in this 2017, and the backup camera, as we all know, is integrated into the trunk handle. And because of that integration, it doesn't get foggy in the wintertime or when it's raining or snowing or whatever. It doesn't get snow on top of it. It doesn't get grime on top of it. So I've had to probably clean off the camera in the back 2, maybe 3 times my entire ownership of this car. It's just clear because of the way it's designed. Awesome design, okay? And then you got your normal like sport modes, you know, like stuff like that. I keep mine in custom. But it's a base model GTI. I don't even know if this does anything. I think it does, but I'm not quite sure. But it's cool regardless. And then your traction control. But these buttons are all laid out really nice. This is just a really nice piece right here. But everything's soft touch, you know? Like, you can hear it a little bit, but none of this rattles or squeaks when I'm driving. The point that I'm trying to make here, guys, is that the Mark 7 GTI build quality is just amazing. I mean, like, look at this over here. Simple things like a turn signal, okay? You have your 3, 4, 5, and it stops. You know, you normally have to do that in any other car, really, you know, especially cheap cars, you know, kind of like this one. But they have these little things built into the turn signal right here. I don't know if you can really see that, but there's a little lip, and this little lip, see that right there? This little lip just feels so good in your fingers. It feels high quality. Everything that you touch in the car feels like, it feels like a $50,000 car when you get inside it. That's what it feels like. And everything, like, it just feels good. VW thought about all this stuff. Like, it's not cheap, it's stylish looking, it feels good on the click, it doesn't feel cheap, it doesn't have like that kind of Honda-ish like click to it, but it has a solid, nice luxury click to it. Same with this. Everything is nice, everything works perfectly. 142,000 miles on my car, okay? And climbing. It has all of this stuff, you know, this is pretty standard stuff, but it has LED lights from the factory on a base model GTI. You don't get that in the Focus ST, I'm pretty sure. Then you have all this hidden stuff in here, you know, that I honestly never use, but everything feels so good. But one of my favorite parts about this car, two things, okay? Two favorite things about the interior of this car. Number one, the dash. Everything is facing the driver, okay? That makes it feel like a much more driver-focused vehicle. It's still an economy car first and sporty car second. The regular Golf is the same exact layout on the Mark 7 generation. It's still facing the driver. But that simplicity right there makes such a difference, because how many cars have you driven? I know I've driven, have this part right here is facing straight, so it feels like it's facing away from you, and when you have to go and touch stuff, it's not as ergonomic, because this way it's coming at you, where this one is coming at this direction. It's coming straight, so it just doesn't feel as ergonomic. That's number one. Number two is the thought process of the manual transmission, okay? And its location specifically. Look at this, okay? My fingers are touching the manual and the steering wheel. I have big hands, so it works for me. It may not work as well for shorter people, but for me, this works amazing. I've sat in other vehicles. I don't know the Focus ST. I don't know why I keep referring to the Focus ST. I'm just saying that's the car I was cross shopping and a direct competitor to this car. But this is like perfect. This is like Porsche status, hence VW makes Porsche, right? But this is so important when you're driving aggressively, and it's not like here and over here, okay? Like a lot, or up here or back here. It's like in the perfect position to where I can just be like, boom, 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 boom. It's effortless is what I'm saying. Those little details make the driving experience so much better and so much sportier for the driver. The engagement is the thought process for this engagement for a $23,500 car is just incredible. The build quality is incredible. The cup holders are incredible, you know? And the nice thing is the shifter, this big old, 44 ounce, whatever, Circle K. Gotta love Sip and Save, $5.99 a month. But the shifter and the cup are a little offset from each other. So it's not like the cup is sitting here and it's just in the way of the shifter all the time. It's actually setting a little offset to the shifter. So even having this big of a cup in there is not really that much in the way. You don't get that kind of thought with other models, especially for $23,500. Okay. But on top of that, the cup holder itself is amazing. I've taken such hard corners with cups this big in these cup holders, and they have never spilt. Never. They hold every single cup except for like a big Gatorade bottle. They hold them so well. These cup holders are amazing. Okay. The seats, plaid seats. You're just getting kind of like basic, bolstered seats in Focus ST or anything in else that is comparing to. So I kind of want to go back to the reason why I'm making this video. And the video is because for $23,500, I feel like I stole this car, to be honest. This car is so good. You can't get any car of this quality for $23,500 nowadays. Mark 8 GTI, I don't recall the base model. I think the base model starts at like 28 or 20, closer to $30,000 now. And we're only 5 years into, the difference of years between a Mark 7 and a 2017 model and a Mark 8 GTI. The Mark 7.5 was a little more expensive, but it's still, I think, a very good bargain for the kind of quality, because there's not much, different between the Mark 7 and the 7.5, as at least spec-wise and interior-wise and stuff. But the specs that you get in the base model Mark 7 GTI are just amazing. Backup camera, heated seats, heated seats, standard. Backup camera, standard. Apple CarPlay, standard. Heated side mirrors, standard. All this stuff. You have to pay extra for that stuff for any other platform except for like Hyundai and Kia, because they're like bargain companies, the same. So I feel like the Mark 7 and the Mark 7.5 GTI or Rs were like the pinnacle of VW Golf ownership, because you're getting so much car for the value. We're talking about new car prices right now. You can get used cars, Mark 7, 7.5s, GTIs and Rs for a really good price. And I still think they're very good bargains for the value that you're getting in these cars. But I'm just disappointed in how the car market has kind of gone. I mean, people are talking about, and car enthusiasts alike, that $60,000, $70,000 plus vehicles are considered bargains now. When did that happen? I mean, we're talking about the new, let's take the C8 Z06 for example. You could get a C7 Z06 spec'd out for under $100,000. Now, just one generation later, and the same specs. I mean, on the C8 now, given the C8 is a lot nicer and a lot better, rear engine, all this stuff has changed. But we're talking about $140 plus thousand now. We're talking about almost a $50,000 difference for the same kind of spec of vehicle. How did that happen? COVID. We know why. It's COVID. Certain people shut down the economy and kind of screwed us all over, right? That's what happened. And now I'm just afraid that I don't know if I'm going to ever buy a brand new car again, because the value that you're getting out of a car nowadays is just not that, it's not that good. I'm used to getting better values out of cars, and I'm just not seeing that in today's market. The cars are a lot nicer nowadays, for sure. I get that. But to say a Hyundai Tucson that used to be, let's just say a Hyundai Tucson that used to be $35,000 is now $50,000. Why is it $15,000 more for almost the same thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think the market is just kind of depleted. There's a lot of people with money paying ridiculous amounts of money for these cars because they can. But for the average person like you and me, most likely, we kind of got screwed over, and I'm a little disappointed in that. So I just wanted to make this video and show you, the kind of quality that you're getting out of a Mark 7. Go pick one up. Go pick a used one up. They're not that expensive, affordable, and you're getting, like I mentioned, I'm a base model, okay? So like the stuff like the vents, mine are all click style, which it still feels really nice in the hands. Here's all the buttons. None of them have faded or anything. 142,000 miles on my car. So, on the upper spec models, you're going to get these with the digital, and so it's going to be a little fancier, right? But you don't need that because it all does the same thing, and these are really nice for what they are already. So, you don't need to get a higher spec car. Now, if there's certain performance things that you want to get out of the car, like a limited slip differential and bigger brakes, then yeah, get the Performance Pack GTI. They're still great bargains. They're awesome. And maybe, a lighting package with the LED headlights. Those are pretty nice too. I like those. Hence why I bought the Mark 7.5 BMP tuning headlights in the front. So you can do all these mods yourself on a base model GTI, and you're probably going to save more money buying a base model GTI and modding it and upgrading all the components than just buying, a little more expensive Performance Pack GTI. Because the Performance Pack GTI owners, they upgrade everything anyways. So why pay for the Performance Pack when you're planning to already upgrade the parts that you just paid upgrading? Doesn't make sense to me. Just buy a base model. That's my opinion, right? But not everyone has the means to do that, and so, or is planning on modding. So if you don't plan on modding your car like crazy, get something with some options. Get the Mark 7, Mark 7.5 GTI. They're amazing. They're fast, really fast when you tune them. They both have the EA 888 engine, and yeah, they're really quick for what they are. But yeah, the quality is amazing. Way better than any of its competition, in my opinion. And I've sat and driven a lot of different cars in its competition, and none of them really compare in quality at all. They don't give you the amount of options that this one gives you. So yeah, if you're interested in the GTI, go find a used one. They're awesome. They're reliable. The Mark 7s are, and 7.5s. And yeah, have some fun. But yeah, just wanted to make you, this video on showing the quality that the GTI, that VW has made in this car. I think it was superb, and especially for the price, $23,500. Gosh, you can't even buy a Versa for that nowadays. Right? This is a crazy world we live in. So anyways, thanks for watching. That's the end of my video. I hope you liked it. Leave some comments if you like the video, dislike it, and send it to your friends. See if they want to care about watching my videos. All right, thanks for watching again, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Okay, peace.